Today I want to talk about how I'm a grown-ass adult, I can make my own decisions, so it's time Hollywood and the studios start treating us as such.
Welcome back, sir. All systems for gaming will be prepared in a few minutes. For now, feel free to grab a cup of coffee and have a good day.
Hey everyone, Mike here. Welcome back to the Movie Man Cave, and today I want to talk a little bit, I'd say, about censorship. This is a video that would say inspired by Matt over at Matt V's Movies. He's been doing a series of videos where he talks about movies that are either hard or near impossible to stream. And I'm going to link to those videos down below. Please check them out. But one of those videos really kind of inspired me, and it's kind of got my brain twisting on certain topics. And then I know recently, which I haven't seen the movie Pleasantville, so I would have not known if I had decided to watch the new 4K of it, but I believe it was Shout Studios released it, and they cut a line out in the movie where, towards the end, I believe, where Reese Witherspoon says something and she refers to herself as a slut, and they just completely cut the line out. And that, along with a few other things, just is kind of one of those things where I'm like, I'm a grown-ass adult. I should be able to decide what I want to watch and when I want to watch it. Instead, there's these, either it's the studios or the streaming service or someone out there is deciding like, this is what is appropriate for you, the viewer, to watch. And they're not letting us decide and make that decision on ourselves. To me, that's not the way to go. Like, you should not be censoring stuff because you're trying to, I don't know, soften things for the widest swath of people. And I'm going to be perfectly clear here. This is not a go woke, go broke rant or anything like that. I completely understand that movies like Song of the South, it has things in it that, you know, they treated people as stereotypes and they are not culturally sensitive, and it's not the way you would depict certain cultures or races or genders that way anymore. I completely understand that. But I also understand movies are a product of their time. There are things, I mean, if you go back and watch Eddie Murphy's stand-up comedies from the 80s, like none of that stuff would fly now. But I'm also able to watch it through a lens of like, all right, this was the product of its time. But it's when they start taking stuff out. And I would say the first thing that really kind of jumped in my mind is the Crocodile Dundee. They released the Encore Cut of the original Crocodile Dundee on 4K. And honestly, when they announced that, and they announced that they were cutting out the scene where they have the cross-dresser in it, and then the scene later on where Mick goes and he gropes a party goer to see if she's a man or a woman. It is one of those things. It was in the 80s. Mick was a completely naive person. He didn't understand what was going on. It's just what it was. It was in the 80s. I remember we laughed at it back then. I still laugh at it now, even though I do realize, like, all right, maybe that's not the best culturally sensitive thing, but I'm a grown-ass adult. I can understand context and understand the context in which the movie was made and things like that. And so, like, when they announced that they were doing the Encore Cut, I was like, I need to go out and find the Blu-ray because I want the uncensored version. I want to be able to choose what version of a movie that I want to watch. I'm a grown-ass adult. I feel like that is more within my ability to decide on whether or not I can handle a scene like this in a movie. And if I don't, no one says I have to watch this movie. And I think that's the thing that kind of bugs me the most is things like this. And I know I went out and found the movie Splash on DVD, which is packed up. I don't have it right now. But I went out and saw the movie Splash on DVD because I didn't want to watch it on Disney Plus, because they do some creative cropping and they crop out her bare bottom and they do some things to cut out her breasts and stuff like that in the movie. And it's a movie of the 80s, and I'm pretty sure it's rated PG, which obviously would not get a PG rating today. But Disney has decided that those scenes are no longer appropriate. And I get it's on Disney Plus, but now with the addition of, like, basically you can watch Deadpool and Wolverine, you can watch the Deadpool movies. They're integrating Hulu onto this. You have to go into the app and then you have to say, like, do you want to see content that is over, like, 18 or whatever, however they say it in the app. And I know it's in different places in different countries, but that's how they do it here in the US. So I get to decide what movies that I want to see, because it wouldn't show me Deadpool and Wolverine if I said, like, no, I don't want to see anything rated R. But with the movie Splash, they've just decided, like, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to edit this stuff out and I'm going to do it. And I remember reading when I was kind of looking up stuff for this video, I know they said, like, Netflix had edited out a scene of Back to the Future 2 where Marty no longer pulled out, like, or flipped through the nudie magazine in one of the scenes. They just completely cut that out. And then I know the movie 1408 with John Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson, which is a little bit of a different beast in that manner. There's like 3 different endings to that movie, and I believe the one that Netflix is showing now, I believe is the director's ending, but I don't remember, or maybe it's the studio ending and they don't show the other one, but because you don't get special features, you can't see the other 2, and it doesn't give you the choice to watch what ending. So that's why one thing I'm like, physical media is fantastic because you can go through and you can find the version of the movie you want, and they can't alter this. Like, they can't alter this Blu-ray. When you're streaming it, they can change it, they can update it, they can take whatever they want. Even the digital copies you buy, since you're getting a license, if they decide to change the copy that you bought, they can do that too. And obviously, even with this one, physical media wise, you can't decide. Like, they've made the choice. They don't even give you the option. And I remember reading an article, I think it was from over in the UK. They were talking about, I think it was a 2020 showing of Flash Gordon at the BFI, and they said that before the movie, they put basically a disclaimer, and I think Disney does this with some of the cartoons on Disney Plus. It's basically like, hey, there may be some stereotypes portrayed in this movie that were a product of this time. I don't know the exact wording, but it's basically like, you've been warned. We know there's stuff that you may find offensive or whatever in this movie. And to me, that's always like, now you have the choice. You've been told there are going to be things in this movie that may offend you. Spoiler, you can tap out now. You can go away. You cannot choose to watch it. And I feel like stuff like Crocodile Dundee, the Splash stuff, movies are a product of their time. And I know Star Wars, George Lucas, directors can go back and they can edit their work. But I also have a little bit of a problem with that, because I feel like once the directors made their movie and it's out in the public, it's out in the theater, and especially once it's out home video and way past the date when it's released, I'm like, it is no longer your movie. You made the movie, you put it into the world. The movie now becomes ours because it becomes part of the culture, it becomes part of society. And then when you go and change it, you're changing stuff like in Star Wars. You've changed the movies that I saw when I was a kid. They are no longer the movies that I saw as a kid, with Greedo shooting first and Jabba the Hutt scenes and stuff like that. Like, those are not the things that I saw when I was a kid. And to me, it is a bit offensive that I can't even get the choice to watch those again without resorting to some illegal means. Like, to me, that's ridiculous. And I feel the same about movies like Crocodile Dundee, Splash. I've said it multiple times, I am a grown-ass adult. I can make the decision for myself whether or not I can handle stuff like this in a movie. And I feel like the studios or the streamers or whoever's making those decisions have decided, like, you know what, we just don't want to deal with any potential blowback, because the people that are going to cry and whine about it are going to be so vocal that it's just not worth it. But I feel like a disclaimer before a movie saying like, hey, this movie's a product of its time, proceed at your own peril. If you don't like it, you also don't have to watch the movie. The key thing, you do not have to watch this. No one is making you watch Crocodile Dundee. If you don't want to, if you think it's going to be offensive, don't watch it. Simple as that. But I'd really love to hear what's your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. But I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. And don't forget, collect what you love.